Let's start off with where the company is right now. You guys have doubled your rights offer from your full year indication in May. Why the reason for doubling to 300 million?
Well, when we initially came up with a figure of 150 million, we were driven largely by what we thought the company needed at that point in time, as well as what we felt the shareholders would be able to put in, because we never wanted to run the risk of falling short of our target. But on further review and looking at the capital requirements of the business and where we want to take the business to, we realized that it was going to be far too little to obviously appease our banking partners, plug the hole, strengthen the balance sheet, and provide the much needed working capital for the business. And so after extensive review with our business partners and advisors, Macquarie Bank, we decided on a figure of 300 million, which we gratefully managed to, we will be able to raise through underwriting of Brait and Coronation.
So you're quite confident that this will go through. Is there a chance that it won't?
There are always risks. You know, the first circular went out looking for the increase the authorised share capital by 4 billion, as well as the authorisation for the waiver, because Brait may move past 35%, which would trigger a mandatory offer to minority shareholders. But in exchange for that, there has obviously driven by an acquisition, a proposed acquisition by Brait and Coronation of 53.5% of Westbrook and Interactive shares. There will be a partial offer made to all minority shareholders for 53.5% of their current shares. And we've done a fair and reasonable to look at that whole scenario. So there's a very strong likelihood that it will go ahead. There's probably a very low risk that it won't go ahead.
Because in your general meeting statement, you said that if it doesn't go through, it could fundamentally change the way that the business operates at the moment. What mitigation strategies have you then got in place, or what kind of part of the business would go first, or how would you deal with that?
Well, I mean, I think that even since year end, we've taken great steps to obviously curb our ability to sort of to destroy cash resources. And so we've sort of mitigated to an extent already by closing down some of our mining contracts. But certainly the alternative may be to sell off a business unit. But we think that's a very low risk at this stage, because certainly the rights offer, I'm sure, will go ahead.
Okay. You moved into coal recently, and if we can just talk a bit about that, because obviously we've got power stations coming on board from Eskom. How far are you in terms of your relationship, securing relationship contracts with Eskom?
We don't have relationships directly with Eskom at the moment. Our relationships are with the mining companies, the large mining groups, as well as smaller miners. But certainly we view Eskom as our ultimate customer on one front. There are really three channels that we look to target. One is Eskom, the other is the Sasol channel, and the third one is the export channel. Whilst we don't see ourselves working directly for Eskom, we see ourselves as an integral part of that supply chain. And we'd like to forward integrate our ability and create value along that chain. So that's our future strategy with regard to that. It certainly has huge opportunities involved in that value chain. Currently, we are commoditized down to one area of the business, which is the contract mining side of the business. But in the whole network optimization, the whole value chain, there's certainly exciting opportunities for service providers. And we see ourselves no worse off than anybody else to take advantage of those opportunities and create value for the supply chain for both the current mining companies as well as Eskom.
Just very quickly, just your outlook for the construction industry and for the mining industry. Both industries kind of under pressure, especially after the World Cup, for the construction industry.
Well, if I talk just to the construction industry, certainly under pressure. The whole sector is under pressure. We are on the construction materials side of the business, and we're certainly feeling that pressure. Volumes are probably almost 50% of what they were at the peak. Also, prices are under pressure. So certainly not a sector which is really booming at the moment. Having said that, we've right-sized ourselves, and we are well positioned when the upturn comes that we will be able to do very well out of it. So we don't see any green shoots yet, and we think the next forthcoming year is going to remain tough, especially domestic housing is still very much under pressure. The lending environment to borrowers is under pressure, but certainly well positioned for when eventually it does turn.